Electrical service damage caused by attempted theft can create significant hazards. When assessing such damage, safety is paramount. Firstly, ensure the power is completely disconnected at the main service disconnect. This eliminates the risk of electrical shock. Secondly, wear appropriate personal protective equipment, including insulated gloves and safety glasses. Thirdly, visually inspect the service entrance conductors for any signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or exposed wires. Look for evidence of tampering with the meter or service panel. Damaged conductors can create a shock hazard and pose a fire risk. Fourthly, examine the meter socket for signs of arcing or burning. Attempted theft often involves bypassing the meter, which can cause significant damage. Fifthly, inspect the service panel for any signs of overheating, corrosion, or improper wiring. Look for loose connections, damaged breakers, and improper grounding. Squatters may have attempted to tap into the electrical system without proper knowledge or materials, leading to dangerous conditions. Check for any non-standard wiring methods or materials. For example, extension cords used as permanent wiring are a common hazard. Look for overloaded circuits. Determine if the squatters added excessive loads to existing circuits, potentially exceeding the capacity of the wiring and breakers. Overloaded circuits can cause overheating and fires. Verify the grounding system. Ensure that the grounding electrode conductor is properly connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or water pipe. An inadequate grounding system can increase the risk of electrical shock. Test the ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs. GFCIs are designed to protect against electrical shock by detecting ground faults. Test all GFCIs to ensure they are functioning properly. Any damaged or malfunctioning GFCIs should be replaced. Look for exposed junction boxes or splices. All electrical connections must be made inside approved enclosures to prevent accidental contact with live wires. Exposed junction boxes or splices are a shock hazard. Check for any signs of water damage. Water can compromise the insulation of electrical wiring and equipment, creating a shock hazard and increasing the risk of corrosion. If there is evidence of water damage, further investigation may be needed. Document all findings with photographs and detailed notes. This documentation can be used to support insurance claims and to guide repair efforts. Create a plan for repairing the damaged electrical service. This plan should include the replacement of any damaged wiring, equipment, and devices. All repairs should be performed by a qualified electrician in accordance with applicable electrical codes. Ensure that all repairs are inspected and approved by a qualified electrical inspector. This will help to ensure that the repairs are performed safely and correctly. When dealing with a compromised electrical system, it is essential to prioritize safety and to follow all applicable electrical codes and regulations. Improperly repaired electrical systems can pose a serious risk of fire, shock, and injury. Consider hiring a professional electrician to perform a thorough inspection and assessment of the electrical system. A qualified electrician can identify potential hazards and recommend appropriate repairs. They can also ensure that all repairs are performed in accordance with applicable codes and regulations. Electrical theft can also damage electrical equipment. Look for signs of tampering with the electrical meter. Squatters often attempt to bypass the meter to avoid paying for electricity. This can damage the meter and create a fire hazard. If the meter has been tampered with, contact the utility company immediately. They will need to replace the meter and investigate the theft. Look for signs of overloaded circuits. Overloaded circuits can cause the wiring to overheat and potentially start a fire. Check the size of the breakers in the electrical panel. The breakers should be sized appropriately for the wiring in the circuit. If the breakers are too large, they will not protect the wiring from overloading. Look for signs of damaged wiring. Damaged wiring can also cause a fire. Check for any exposed wires, frayed insulation, or loose connections. If you find any damaged wiring, have it repaired immediately by a qualified electrician. Look for signs of improper grounding. Improper grounding can increase the risk of electrical shock. Check to make sure that all electrical outlets and appliances are properly grounded. If you are not sure how to check the grounding, contact a qualified electrician. Look for signs of water damage. Water damage can also cause electrical problems. Check for any leaks around electrical outlets or appliances. If you find any water damage, have it repaired immediately by a qualified electrician. Electrical safety is important. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, contact a qualified electrician. They can help you to identify and repair any electrical problems in your home. Always turn off the power before working on any electrical equipment. Use insulated tools when working with electricity. Never work on electrical equipment when you are wet. Be aware of your surroundings when working with electricity. Wear appropriate safety gear, such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are not sure how to do something, ask a qualified electrician for help. Electrical theft and damage can cause significant problems. By following these safety tips, you can help to protect yourself and your family from electrical hazards. When evaluating electrical service damage after a period of vacancy and unauthorized occupation, it's crucial to conduct a systematic and thorough assessment. This involves several key steps. Firstly, the initial step is always safety. Before approaching any electrical equipment, ensure the power is disconnected at the main disconnect switch or breaker. This prevents accidental electrocution. Verify the disconnection with a voltage tester. Secondly, thoroughly document the existing conditions with photographs and notes. This documentation will be vital for insurance claims, repair planning, and potential legal actions. Capture images of any damaged components, unusual wiring configurations, and signs of tampering. Thirdly, inspect the service entrance. Examine the overhead or underground service conductors for any signs of damage, such as cuts, abrasions, or exposed wires. Look for evidence of tampering with the meter enclosure or service panel. Fourthly, assess the meter and meter socket. Check the meter for signs of damage, such as cracks, burns, or missing components. The meter socket should be examined for signs of arcing or overheating. If the meter has been tampered with, contact the utility company immediately. Fifthly, examine the service panel. Open the service panel after verifying the power is off and inspect the breakers, wiring, and grounding connections. Look for signs of overheating, corrosion, or improper wiring. Pay attention to any unusual wiring configurations that may indicate unauthorized connections. Sixthly, check branch circuits. Test a representative sample of branch circuits to verify their functionality and proper wiring. Use a circuit tester or multimeter to check for voltage, continuity, and ground faults. Look for any signs of overloaded circuits, such as trip breakers or melted insulation. Seventhly, verify the grounding system. The grounding system is critical for safety. Ensure that the grounding electrode conductor is properly connected to a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or water pipe. Test the grounding system with a ground resistance tester to verify its effectiveness. Eighthly, look for evidence of code violations. During the inspection, be vigilant for any code violations, such as undersized wiring, improper conduit fill, or missing junction box covers. Document any violations and ensure that they are corrected during the repair process. Ninthly, evaluate the extent of the damage. Based on the inspection findings, determine the extent of the damage and the necessary repairs. This may involve replacing damaged wiring, equipment, and devices. It is essential to develop a detailed repair plan that addresses all identified issues. Tenthly, engage qualified professionals. Electrical repairs should only be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. Ensure that the electrician has experience with similar types of repairs and is familiar with applicable electrical codes. Obtain multiple bids from qualified electricians to ensure a competitive price. 11thly, obtain necessary permits. Before commencing any electrical repairs, obtain the necessary permits from the local building department. This will ensure that the repairs are inspected and approved by a qualified electrical inspector. 12thly, perform repairs in accordance with codes. All electrical repairs must be performed in accordance with applicable electrical codes such as the National Electrical Code, or NEC. This will ensure that the repairs are performed safely and correctly. 13th, inspect and test repairs. After the repairs are completed, a qualified electrical inspector should inspect the work to ensure that it meets all applicable code requirements. The electrician should also test the repaired circuits to verify their functionality and safety. 14th, restore power safely. Once the repairs have been inspected and approved, the power can be safely restored to the building. Ensure that all appliances and equipment are turned off before restoring power. 15th, provide documentation. Provide the building owner with documentation of all repairs, including permits, inspection reports, and electrician's invoices. This documentation will be valuable for future reference and for insurance purposes. By following these steps, you can effectively assess and repair electrical service damage caused by attempted theft or unauthorized occupation, ensuring the safety and reliability of the electrical system. It is also important to consider the potential for hidden damage. Squatters may have made unauthorized modifications to the electrical system that are not immediately visible. For example, they may have tapped into circuits inside walls or ceilings. These hidden modifications can create a fire hazard or shock hazard. Therefore, it is important to be thorough in your inspection and to look for any signs of tampering. If you suspect that there may be hidden damage, you may need to remove drywall or other building materials to gain access to the wiring. It is also important to consider the potential for contamination. Squatters may have used the building for illegal activities such as drug manufacturing. These activities can leave behind chemical residues that can contaminate the electrical system. If you suspect that the building has been used for illegal activities, you should have the electrical system tested for contamination. If contamination is found, it may be necessary to replace the affected wiring and equipment. Dealing with electrical service damage after squatters is a complex task that requires specialized knowledge and expertise. It is important to work with qualified professionals who can properly assess the damage, perform the necessary repairs, and ensure the safety of the electrical system.